In this lesson, we are going to learn how to share library assets among our Flash files. We're going to learn how to export PNG sequences, and also we'll learn how to generate a sprite sheet. The three documents that I have open are available in your Chapter 5 folder. They are called Sharing Library Items, Frames Motion Tween, and Sharing Library Items 2. Let's begin by talking about how to share library assets from one project to another. If you see here, we have Sharing Library Items open. We also have another document open called Frames Motion Tween, and then we have a blank document. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can get our library items from the other Flash files into this one. Well, one thing that we can do is actually go to the open file that we want to snag something from, look in the library, find what we're looking for, and copy it and bring it over. If we look in this library, we're going to see a movie clip called Footsteps. If we right-click, we're going to see a number of options, including copy. So let's copy this item. Let's pop back over to our Flash file, right-click in the library, and choose Paste. Just like that, we have our movie clip and all of the components that make up the movie clip as well. If you need to preview this movie clip to make sure it works, look here in the top right corner of the library and click the play button, and you can get a preview of your animation. So we just grabbed a movie clip and all of the elements that it needed came along with it. But let's go to our other Flash file and let's grab a static image, meaning this one isn't a symbol, it's just a graphic. We can get this guy also. We can right click and copy. Let's go back to our new document, right click here in the library and paste. And now we have a regular image, meaning it hasn't been converted to a symbol. If we need to find out information about this graphic, we can always click and look in the bottom of the library panel and click the properties icon, and this is going to tell you everything you need to know about the image that we just copied in. Let's cancel out of here. So copying and pasting library items, not a big deal. Well, what if you want to just open another Flash files library? Maybe you don't have the file open the way these are. Well, in that case, you're going to go to the File menu and you're going to go down to Import and then choose Open External Library. Flash is going to ask us, well, which file would you like to open the library from? Okay. Let's go down and choose maybe petloveshapetween.fla and click Open. Now, instead of the entire Flash file being open, we have access to its library and we can snag whatever we want from here. You simply select the item and drag it and drop it over into our library, and we never had to open the Flash file. Okay? So we can grab the dog or the cat or the heart or any of these guys and just bring those right over. And then we can close the external library. All right? Well, let's talk about some other things that we can do other than just copying assets and using assets, which are all great tools. But let's see what some of the other things that we can do in the library. I mentioned earlier that we'd also learned how to export a PNG sequence. Now, why would you want to do that? Exporting a PNG allows you to generate a sequence of PNG files from individual library items, such as movie clips. Let's check that out. Remember our movie clip Footsteps? Well, if we right-click on Footsteps, we're going to see copy, paste, and all kinds of other familiar items, right? But if you go down and scroll to the bottom of this list, you're going to see a variety of other options. Some of these are new for CS6. One of those new features is right here, and it's called Export PNG Sequence. If we click this guy, Flash is going to ask us, well, where would you like to put your PNG sequence? Well, there's a folder here in the Chapter 5 folder called Exported. So maybe let's put these files here. Let's click Save. Let's accept the defaults for our sequence. And now Flash is exporting out all of our PNGs. PNGs are especially helpful for people who generate content for gaming applications. Let's check it out. Let's minimize Flash and open our project files. Let's open the Chapter 5 folder. Let's open our exported folder. And indeed, we see a lot of PNGs that were exported out as individual items from our movie clip. This can be a very helpful feature. No longer do you have to have third-party plugins or software. You can actually do this directly from Flash. Let's just close this file and let's go back to Flash. And we'll go to Window and let's open the documents that we were working on previously. Alright, so not only can you export PNGs, but you may have noticed when we right-click on any of these items in the library and you go down the list that we have a couple of other exporting options as well. For instance, I have a movie clip selected. I could export this guy out to an SWF. Now, we will be getting into exporting as SWFs in HTML and also exporting for iOS and Android in the next lesson, so we'll save talking about exporting as SWFs for later, but just know that you can export individual library items as an SWF as well. And something else that's new and very popular, especially for people in the gaming industry, is to generate a sprite sheet. A good way to describe a sprite sheet is this. It's not actually a lot of little images, but rather one big image. So instead of a lot of slicing and smaller images, especially if you're creating a website or a web page where you're going to have a lot of HTTP requests to get your images, you can create one of these and it only has to load once. This is also especially helpful for people that create games and Android apps and iOS apps, because sprite sheets load a lot quicker, which means a lot less wasted video memory. Okay, I'm just going to click this and show you how it works. And here we are. This would be our sprite sheet if we needed to generate this guy. You'll see all of the different images. If you've ever done any web development, some of this may look familiar because you may have had a regular state and a rollover state. A lot of that can be generated from sprite sheets as well. All right. And now let's just cancel out of this window. Well, in this lesson, we've learned how to share our library items between open Flash documents, and we've also learned how to open external libraries and grab items from there. In addition to sharing library assets, we've learned how to export PNG sequences and also how to generate sprite sheets.